what we decided was we will have a single page where batch will be created, and inside that single page only we will do the enrollment also. No, sorry, that was for enrollment, right? Batch is, so you completed the batch, right?
Yes, Chetan.
Why it is navigating on enrollment back to the page? Routing. Right. What's the route we have? Okay, route got deleted. Let's create the route first. Right click. Okay, enrollment is there. Now, so till now what we have done, batch we are able to create. So new batch. Okay, so just check the menus also, whichever menu we are not using, just remove that. Okay, because new batches we have this page, right? And in the batches we don't have anything. Okay, so just remove that also. Now, in the enrollment. So if we see the enrollment API, create enrollment. No, in batch only we decided, na, so we will have a batch batch form at the top, and in the bottom we will have the enrollment, right? Some
Okay.
UI also we
Then,
created, na?
no, already that one different is there, no, not this.
No, no, no. See, what we do in the batches, we are just creating the batch, right? Now in the batch, we have to do the enrollment also, correct? So instead
Right.
of having currently what do we have? We have a separate page for batch, right? From here you
Yes.
will create the batch. Then in the enrollment again you will have the form there. We will select the batch, student ID, and that's how you will do the enrollment, right? But instead of doing that in a single page, we are going to do a batch also and the enrollment also. Okay. I think that form was there. I think overridden. Okay. Anyway, so anyone tried this Bolt AI tool? Some session I have explained. I don't know, like you guys were there or not. Anyone tried this Bolt AI? Okay.
Okay.
So just like ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, we can say the models what ChatGPT has are more likely for the getting very normalized answer. Okay. If you ask ChatGPT to create the UI, it will provide you very basic one. But if we talk about this Bolt AI tool, so this is mainly for React and the Angular and JavaScript library. It is only focused on that. So if you ask this tool to create some UI, no, it will create very uh, design innovative and a very user friendly UI. Okay. So now what we are going to do, we need to create a UI where batch will be created, and below that we can add multiple enrollment. Okay. That kind of UI we are going to need. Rohan, please mute. Okay. So let's ask this tool to create a UI like that. So first create batch. So this will be my first object. Okay. Let's prepare the prompt first. So this is my single object. Okay. So at the top, we will have the batch form, and at the bottom, we can do multiple enrollment. Let's check if we are getting the data. Yes. Okay. And our create object will be like this. Okay. So now what should be our prompt? We need the UI design. What we should ask. This is, we need a UI where batch form will be at the top. Let me open the paint, then you will be able to imagine what I'm talking. At the top, we will have the batch form. Okay. So here I will say new batch form will be there. Okay. At the, again, we will have save and submit button over here. Save and update button will be there here. After that, at the bottom, we will have enrollment in the table. Okay. So over here, we will have table. Enrollment will be there. Whatever the, because we are going to open a particular batch. In that particular open batch, what are the enrollments currently are there, that will be visible over here. And here at the top, we will need add new enrollment button. Okay. On the click of it, we might open a model pop-up, or here only we will show and hide some form. Based like that, we will create. Now we want that AI tool to create a UI like this, right? So whenever we have to ask a AI tool to create something, we have to provide a proper context also. Like, what is my object? What I need? How is it a single, or the scenario is single with multiple? Everything I need to explain it properly. Then only it can provide you the exact output, right? So let's say this is my batch form. So first, like, I need a batch form. I need a UI for batch and enrollments in that batch, where batch object is like this. Okay, fine. So this is my batch object. Then in this form, I need a section where I will have enrollment form, which object is like this. This is the object. And in same page, I need to show enrollment done in this batch. Okay. Where fields will be like this. Okay. So we are explaining what we need, what are the properties we have, where we need to show the table. Okay. Then use Bootstrap. We need to specify the technology also. Bootstrap, HTML, CSS. Okay. Let's copy and let's try to ask it. Basically, it will provide the code in a React project or Angular. Then again, we need to specify. I just provide me the HTML. Then it will rewrite that code in a single HTML file. So see, it is creating that, what do we say, React project. Let it complete. Again, just like this, so many UI specific AI tools are also there. Most of it are paid. This one I found, which is free, and it create a very nice UI. Okay, let's ask it. Just provide, and it will show you the demo also, like how it is looking. See how UI is looking. Anyone has heard New Vision company? New Vision, new enrollment, current enrollment. Okay, it missed the batch form. I don't need batch details. I need batch form over there. That's right. Anyone speaking? Praveen? Any question, Pratik? Okay, so see. So here at the top, we will have a batch form. Wait, why to reload? Okay, so here we will have the batch form. After that, we will have a form for the new enrollment. At the bottom, we will show the all the enrollment. So in a single page, we will be creating the batch and whatever the enrollments we have. Understood the scenario now? How our page should be like that? Rahul, understood now?
Yes, Chetan.
Okay. So it has provided the code in the React way. See, all the React way. And I need this in the HTML way. So provide this in HTML file. Again, you can ask for the alternative design also. Again, it will provide you some more designs also. Okay, so now you can see in index.html, it is providing all the CSS and all the UI. Okay, so this CSS we might be needing. Let's close it. Okay, let it complete. Class we need a class over here. Then we need HTML. So let's copy the HTML. There you go. Enrollment. Okay. So see, this was the UI I was talking about. So what you did in the new batch, you created just the batch. So now on click of create batch, you have to create that. Here you need to integrate that API call on the create batch. First thing. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now this same page we are going to use for creating batch also and update also. Okay. So now we need to modify our routing like that. So in our routing, so I think we created like this, no? So instead of that, let's modify it because this is already you are using for batch. So let's not disturb that. So slash colon batch ID. Okay. Now we need to layout menu item. So whenever we are creating a new row for new enrollment, so we have to pass some ID, right? So by default, it will be 0. Okay, now if I click on enrollment, you can see admin, enrollment, new enrollment. So you will need one more page, enrollment list. In that, you will show the enrollment list. And on click of edit, you will navigate to this same project. But in at that time, you will have the ID. Okay. Rahul, you can work on this page, right? I'm explaining the whole thing, what we need to do. You will be
Okay.
able to work it?
Yes, Chetan.
Okay, fine. So how many things you have to do? First, route is already created. So what we need to do, if ID is 0, on the page load, you don't need to make that call, get batch by batch ID. Okay. If ID is 0, means you are creating a new batch. Okay. So on click of create batch, you will integrate your API call, post batch API. Clear? This.
Okay.
Okay. Once you create the batch, in if you know that you have created a batch, so if you have just created a batch, will there be any enrollment in it? If you just created a batch, obviously there will be no enrollment, na? Because you just created it.
Yes.
So you need to add a in subscribe of that, you need to add a check. In subscribe. Okay, let me complete it first. So if it is a new case, if ID is 0, you will on click of create batch, you will create the batch will be created. After that, on click of this submit enrollment. So here you will have student ID. So what you will do it over here, you need to show the student drop down, correct?
Okay.
Because student ID is the foreign key na, in create enrollment. So here we need to pass the student ID. So here you will get all student API you will call, and whatever the data you get, that you will bind it over here, correct? Drop down we need to show na.
Okay.
Understood or no?
Yes, Chetan.
Okay. Total fees discount. Now here we have the object batch ID. So if you see this batch ID is there. But in UI, we don't have batch ID. So where will be the batch ID? In UI, we don't have batch ID, but in object, we need to send. Now, if you are doing enrollment, you have to enroll the student into a particular batch, correct? So from where you will get the batch ID?
Create batch, we will get the batch ID.
Right? Once you create the batch, in response, you will get the batch ID. Na? So
Yes.
in this object, you have that batch ID. So in enrollment object, the remaining data you will get it from the our UI form. This batch ID you have to take it from this upper object. Then on click of submit, you will call your here in enrollment object batch ID you need to take from above API call. Understood? Fine.
Yes.
And in subscribe of enrollment, add enrollment, you have to call one more API that will be get all student from enrollment. Do we have that API or no? Get enrollment ID. Where is that API? We don't have API for get student by batch ID. Get student by batch ID. Okay, yes. So see, we have opened a particular batch, right? And once you create the batch, you got the batch ID, right? On according to this batch ID, you are creating enrollment, right? So you need to call this API where you will pass the batch ID. Okay. So you will get all the enrollment done in this particular batch ID. So in subscribe of add enrollment, call this API where you will pass the batch ID. Okay. This is for create scenario. But so let's say you created a batch and you added some enrollment. Then you again come back to the list page and you open the particular batch. If their ID will be there, if ID is present in URL. So if you click on the, let's say you are on the batch list page and you click on the OK, right? So on click of OK, you will navigate to this page only. But while navigating, now you have the batch ID, correct? Understood now? It's like in the table, you will show all the enrollment or sorry, from the batch. So here you can see batch is there. If I say open button over here, so on click of open, you will redirect to this page, but with the ID batch ID, whatever the batch you click. So now in the URL, you will have the ID, batch ID. Getting it or not? Guys, anyone having doubt or am I going with very fast?
Can you please explain again?
It's simple scenario. How do we do the edit thing till now? How do we do the edit thing?
Based upon the ID.
Based upon the ID. So till
Yes.
now, what we have done. So see, where we have done student now. So see what we have done here only we have the edit button. On click of edit, we are getting the data and showing it into the form because it was a small form. But on click of edit, we can redirect to a new page also. If we don't have form in the same component, we have a different component for the form. We have to navigate along with the ID. Correct?
Okay.
So that I'm talking. So now in the batch, you will have open button over here. Once you open, you will navigate over here with batch ID. So now on this page load, if URL has a ID present in it, means it's a edit mode. Batch is already created. So now you need to populate the batch data also. Whatever the ID is over here, that batch data you need to populate over here. Correct, na? You are opening a batch, so batch data should be visible, na?
Yes.
If ID is not 0, you need to call one more API, get batch by batch ID. This API. Here you need to pass the batch ID. Okay. So this is the first thing. On page load, call this API and provide batch ID from URL. Understood? So now by making this API call, that's why I said if the ID is 0, we don't have to call this API, correct? Because this API you will call once the batch is created. So in the edit mode only, open mode only, you need to call this API so that the batch detail will be available over here. And instead of create batch, it will be update batch now. Correct? Okay. Then you need on the page load. For this, you don't have to do anything. On the page load, this API call again you need to make on the page load, so that whatever the enrollment you have done for this particular batch will be available over here. Got it? So in case of edit, you need to make two API call. First, you have to get all the batch detail, and you need to get all the students, means all the enrollment done in this particular batch. Understood? This was the expected. Rahul, you understood, na? Because you are going to work. You can connect with Supriya also for this. But basic you understood?
Chetan, yes.
Okay. So that otherwise we can have a separate component also, but that will be normal CRUD operation we are doing. Something unique we need to do, na? Okay.
Sir, once you go to previous page.
Which one? Batch page? Hmm.
So here already batches are there. On
Right.
click
But
of
this, see, this page he has already created, but we are not going to use this page now because batches are going to be, okay. So let's say this component we are going to use just to show the batch list. Okay. If I click on add batch, it is going to navigate over here for new batch. Here only we are creating batch, and here only we are going to add the enrollment inside that batch. Okay. Now come to your question.
yeah, I'm saying when we click on here, you should go to that page, right?
Right. This page
Okay.
along with the batch ID, on whatever the batch you click, it will navigate over here with the batch ID. So that batch detail you will showcase over here. On the page load, you will make this call to get all the batch detail, and you need to show the enrollment also. So for that, you will make this API call.
And that submit enrollment, I mean, that form is not needed.
Yeah, on the page load, you can show it also or hide it also. On the button click, here you can add one more button, and this form you can toggle it on that. Correct?
Yeah, that is not needed, right? New
Right. On the
enrollment.
page load, we don't need it. We can have
Yeah.
a add enrollment button. Once you click, then only you can show this.
Yeah.
Right? Rahul understood now his question?
Oh, Chetan.
Right? So by default, we don't need to show this now. Once user click, then only we will. Otherwise, it is taking so much space unnecessary.
Okay.
Okay? Clear?
Chetan, I have did in new batch. There I have completed like add and edit, delete also here I have completed.
Yeah, so same thing you need to copy paste. API call only now. See.
Okay.
This I'm going to push. So on click of create, you need to just update, you need to call that API function. API function you have already written. Just copy
Yes, sir.
that and put it into this component. And on
Okay.
this click of button, you just need to call it. That form also binding also you can copy paste directly. You have put that over there in the model performance. Same code you can paste it over here.
Okay,
Correct?
Chetan.
So that code is not going to waste. We just have to copy paste.
Okay.
This is the new thing you have to do.
So,
But based on the ID, you need to do like this. If ID is 0, on the page load, you don't have any call. Just to, and again, that student drop down, right? So on the page load, do we need to call this student API, which we are going to need over here to showcase the student data? Get all student API call you need to make now on this page. So on the page load, do we need to make that API call, or when we will make that get student API call?
ID is there means that time.
No. You didn't get
we'll
that.
make only one time.
No. Listen, everyone, clear.
On the page load. On the page load we
So
need.
that's why that is my question. We have here we need to show the student drop down. For that, we need to call, where is that API? Get student API. Correct. If you call this API, you will get all student, and that student data you will showcase over here in the drop down. So my question is, when we should make this API call? On the page load or any other time when we have to call this API?
On the page load, sir. On the page load.
Anyone else?
On page load.
Let's say, as Praveen told me, like instead of always showing this form, we can have a add button over here. And if we click on add, then this form is going to be visible. Now tell me when we should make that API call.
At
I'm
a
saying,
time, at a time of
Add
clicking on the
button.
button.
right? So on the page load, we don't have to make that API call, because if user is not clicking on this, if user is not going to add the enrollment, we are unnecessary calling that API. Correct? So here, Rahul, you can just add a button over here, add new enrollment, and then this form will open. And on click of this, you will call that API also. Get all student.
Okay, Chetan.
Understood?
Okay.
Everyone clear?
Hello.
Okay. Again,
Sir.
this chat GPT AI tool. Na? So this is the UI it has given, right? Let's try to ask it, can you provide some alternative way? Okay. Because this is very basic again. It more user friendly, add some background colors also. Let's check what's provide. See why I might be explaining you. We should not use AI design for designing and everything, right?
Chetan,
See,
your voice is too low.
wait. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So in I think API or what session I have discussed AI tool, the what are the challenges we might be facing? Somewhere I discussed, right? You guys were there or not? Not sure, like multiple sessions are happening. In some session I have discussed now why AI is dangerous. I discuss or not?
Yes, sir.
See, currently market is very quickly changing. So what I'm saying, if you are working already, if you are tagged to a project, then it's good. Okay. Right now, it's not a time to look for a job change. Okay. Even if you are looking, you are not getting so many calls. Okay. Consider previously what was happening. We used to waste 1 or 2 interviews just for our practice, but now that is not the case. First interview we have to crack. Now, so many companies are providing machine tests like that. They will ask you to complete a small application. They will provide you the API also, or sometimes they will provide, or sometimes they will ask you to just create the JSON server and that mock JSON server, na JSON server package we do, and we create JSON file, right? They will ask you to do with that, so that they will check like, are you able to create that object also or not? Okay, so work on a GitHub. Have some small project ready, because you need to showcase apart from your whatever the technical you say, because we have a 30-minute or let's say 45 or max 1 hour interview, right? In that they cannot judge you very properly. But if you have something to showcase, so GitHub is a place where you can showcase how different application with proper UI and everything you have created. So in that scenario, this Bolt AI and other AI tools might be very helpful, because you are creating your profile. Just pick up any project, either fees collection or any real-time project you can pick up and start it. Some project you can use my API, in some project you will use JSON server, because while appearing them, it's not always guaranteed that they will provide you the API. Sometimes they will ask you to, we are not providing API, you can manage by using the JSON server, create the object whatever you need and you manage that. This is also going to be the case. So have at least 5 to 6 proper projects, and that you can live it on the GitHub or that Vercel wherever, and you can provide the live URL, because interviewers are checking those what code you have done, right? So now let's say if someone thought of let's create some project, and you cannot waste time designing UI, right? So these AI tools are helpful in that scenario. Okay, let's see. Okay, what it did, it just added icon, nothing else it did. Again, we need to ask. Okay, it has added that hover and something. We need to ask it very specifically, then only it will provide you the code. Okay. Other, anyone have any Canva image? We get that Canva prototype now. So this tool, when we work on a project, we get the like whatever the UI design we have to make either in Canva or that Adobe application. So if you upload the Canva image over here, No, sorry, not Canva. What is that tool?
Figma.
Where Figma, sorry. Okay, so if you upload the Figma image over here, now it will provide you the exact UI code. Exact. Okay. So with Figma, you cannot extract the HTML, right? But if you provide that HTML image of that Figma design over here, now it will provide you the exact image. Okay. Just try this Bolt AI once. Try to get some image also, image of the form, and put it over here and ask him to design this page using HTML, CSS. It will provide you the exact image, exact HTML created by checking that image. ChatGPT cannot do that. It will provide you very basic code, but this is more advanced for UI purpose. Okay, fine. So Rahul, you will be able to do this.
Yes, Chetan, I will do.
Okay. Supriya is there. Supriya or who else was working? You only working or Supriya? Surya is there. Supriya is not.
Also there.
Okay, just connect with Supriya also if you face any issue. So
Okay.
once this is done, then just the reporting part is remaining. So report API. So again, report like pending fees, get payment by batch ID. So now we are going to use this page for a particular batch, right? So let's say you open the batch. Okay, batch detail is over here. Batch enrollment is also over here. Now on click here, you can add some button, and on click of that, what are the fees received in this enrollment? You can showcase that in a table in the model pop-up. So for that, you can use this API. Again, in the next, once you complete this, next thing we can do that. Okay. If anyone is ready or if you have time, let me know. We can start parallelly. We can start on this page also. Okay. So once you open the batch, you can see the batch info, all the student enroll into that batch. What are the pending fees? How which student has paid what much fees? What is the pending fees? Every detail means a single page where you can see everything. Reports also and everything according to the batch. Whatever the information we have inside that batch, everything will be available over here. Okay. Clear, Rahul?
Yes, Chetan.
Okay. One more thing. I have explained this in the morning batch. I don't know, like some of you are joining only. So see, nowadays what is happening? I don't know, like if you heard it or not. Bangkok America and JP Morgan, both bank have what do we say? You know the concept, like let's say I'm working for one company to Citibank. From TCS also some of the guys work with us, right? So Citibank or even Bank of America or even JP Morgan, they don't hire employees on their payroll. They use third party employees. Okay. So TCS, L&T, Iris, Virtusa, that Cinecron, so many companies are there. SCL, Wipro. These work companies employee will work on the Citibank project. Okay. And let's say if we talk about one project, let me stop the recording.